Hey guys, how's everything going out there? It's me, Brandeline Johnson, and I am on here to talk to you guys about what is the difference between psychic hearing, clairaudience, and psychic knowing, claircognizance. Um, in my Awaken program, I have one of the girls on our support call the other day, and she was having a little bit of confusion around those two. She actually joined the program because she wanted to develop her psychic hearing, right? So she is an active healer. She's already, like, I guess you would say, naturally like intuitive because of the healing. That's a whole other video about, when you're doing the healing process and how spirit will start to work through you. But she wanted to really develop this psychic hearing. And she knows herself as a psychic knower because she says, I just know these things. This is why I wanted to make this video, because people come through my program and they really, really need support around these different types of psychic abilities and how to recognize them. That is one of the biggest things. It's like people do not actually recognize what it is that they're experiencing. Now, when we can recognize it for what it is, then we could start working with it more. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. If you guys are watching live, say hi. If you're watching on the replay, say, hey, I'm here watching the replay. Go ahead and give me a like. That would be super awesome. And follow my channel, Brandeline Johnson. You can also follow me on Instagram at I am Brandeline. You guys know I love to teach psychic and mediumship development. So we're going to talk about the difference between psychic knowing and psychic hearing and why psychic hearing often goes unrecognized. Okay. So claircognizance, which is psychic knowing, basically means like you just know something, but you don't know how you know it. You just know to the core of your freaking soul that you know something. It reminds me of the time that I was in the grocery store with my husband at the time, and we were looking for organic chicken. And he's like, here it is, and it's wrapped, and it says organic chicken right the frick on there, right? And I'm like, that is not organic chicken. And he goes, how do you know? It's like literally wrapped there. I go, I don't know how I know, but I know. And when you're a knower, and when it's a psychic knowing, you will like literally duel to the death because you know that deep down in your core of your soul. You don't know how you know. Nobody told you, right? You didn't study on this subject. This is the cool thing about psychic knowing and psychic development is you get information that isn't in this physical realm. You get information that you couldn't have read in a book, but you know it so deeply that you will literally fight to the death, right? I always joke about you could fight to the death when it comes to psychic knowing. The difference between psychic knowing and psychic hearing is psychic knowing is just knowing. It doesn't come from anywhere. It's not piecemealed in, right? You didn't like see these visions come in and you're like, oh, now I know. You didn't like hear a voice outside of you saying blah, 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 blah. And oh, that's how I know. You didn't, smell it. That's how you know. You didn't use any of these senses to come into this knowing. You simply just know it all at once, like all at once. When it comes to psychic hearing, and there's the confusion that like my client was having, is that she was literally waiting for this external voice to come and chime in. And yes, that can happen. And yes, I have other clients that do have this booming auditory voice, voices that come from different places. And those voices are coming from, past loved ones. Maybe it's coming from an angel. Maybe it's coming from one of your guides. Maybe it's coming from aliens, ancestors. It can be outside of yourself. You can hear outside of yourself this auditory voice. It does happen. But the majority of my clients, when it comes to psychic hearing, it is a voiceless voice, and it comes in with information that comes in like a stream, if you would say. It's like, a couple words, and then all of a sudden it is like coming into a knowing, but it comes in slower. So like when I'm talking to my clients and my students that take my famous Awaken program, I want to share with them about that. And I talk to them about journaling, and this is different than automatic writing. Okay. I talk to them about writing down what spirit is giving to them. And when we're doing this writing process, that's where you're getting psychic hearing, because you didn't know it all in one clump. You're sitting there, you're asking spirit to give you information, and it's coming in as a piecemeal, right? A voiceless voice. And then you're like, aha, and then you know. But that's different than just psychic knowing, where it comes in all in one clump. I hope this is helping you guys make sense of this. I feel like it's super important for you guys to recognize these clairs, because like I said in the beginning of this video, when you recognize where the information is coming from and how you uniquely are receiving, it gets that much more magical. And you become that much more, I guess I want to say powerful, and that's much more powerful receptor, right? A much more powerful medium. Whereas if we don't know what our clairs are, if we don't recognize them, if we don't know how to use them, and spirit cannot give you the information because you're not aware of how to use them, how you're receiving, and it's going unnoticed, right? That was kind of like with the client. Is she's like, well, I just know things, and she kept saying these things to me. But on our support call that we have, which by the way, you get 3 months of support calls, we had this conversation, and she cleared up a lot of her confusion around how she was receiving information. Because the thing too is, like, a lot of us, if you're not developed, right? If you're not developed, a lot of you guys are like getting random information, and you're like excited about it, but when you like develop into it, it just becomes so much deeper, and so you become so much more of an asset to spirit, right? You become more valuable. Not that you're not valuable, you're beautiful, right? Spirit would be like, you guys are amazing exactly as you are. But when you can start recognizing more of your energetic self and how you're receiving, then spirit like is able to work through you more. And this is essentially what you're here for, right? You're here for spirit, like spirit guides, angels, loved ones, infinite intelligence, right? The divine, to work through you so that you can create major change here on this planet, and lift us up in dimension, right? So important for you guys to recognize this. If you guys haven't like taken my quiz, go to my website, brandoline.com/quiz. And I'll drop it here in the comments. Go take my quiz, and it'll help you. I'm writing that in here. It'll help you kind of pinpoint a little bit about your clairs, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. brandoline.com/quiz. That will give you some help on how to kind of like pinpoint a little bit of how you're working with it. But like I was saying a little bit ago, is like my client came to me full well thinking she wasn't hearing spirit. But once we had that support call, she was able to start recognizing, well, wait a minute, maybe I have been hearing this whole time. It's just coming from a different way. And let me add about this too, is if we believe that we don't have an ability, or if we believe an ability is supposed to work a specific way, then we're kind of like blocking spirit to let it work a different way, right? We're blocking spirit from even letting us use that clair because we believe we don't have it, right? Or we don't understand how it's working, so we're blocking it. When we develop into it, when we recognize it, that's when shit gets magical. So you guys also, if you want to check out the Awaken program, it's brandoline.com, right? HTTPS. Sorry, I can't see. brandoline.com. Just go to brandoline.com and you'll see it, the link to it right there. So check that out. You guys, I hope you love this video. Share it, push like, and give me a follow, and I will talk to you guys soon.